The Road to Cincinnati is the 8th episode of the 32nd season of The Simpsons. This is directed by Matthew Nastuk, and I thought I'd really enjoy this because it's all about Skinner and Chalmers, and I love Skinner and Chalmers, but honestly, I found it to be really boring, and I felt like it was also trying too hard. And I didn't really believe a lot of the characters' emotions. I didn't feel like it made a lot of sense, and I didn't care for it at all. Skinner and Chalmers end up going on a car ride to a convention in Cincinnati, and it's basically about their relationship and largely about how Skinner annoys Chalmers, but also we can see Skinner's trying to be nice to Chalmers. Is Chalmers going to actually ever realise this? Neither character is fully honest about why certain things are happening or what their plans are. It sounds like it could have been interesting, and it really could have been, but it just wasn't. It wasn't funny. I didn't really believe Chalmers a lot of the time. I didn't believe the way he responded to things. He was very much unclear of his own opinions and how he truly felt about things. And while that can be possible, I feel like he went from one extreme to the other and back again and then back again without any proper triggers. And I just didn't find his part of this convincing. The actual events are really boring as well, particularly the events during the car journey. They tried to make it interesting by making it seem quite dramatic. I won't give away exactly what happens, but it wasn't. It just didn't work very well. It wasn't funny, it wasn't fascinating. I couldn't wait for them to get to the destination, but unfortunately, even when there, it just wasn't interesting. Unfortunately, I'm really disappointed by this episode. As I said, I do love Chalmers as a character. This had the potential to be a really good episode, and it just wasn't. It's not unwatchable. There are a couple of episodes of The Simpsons that are just completely unwatchable. The one with Moe's bar rag comes to mind. It's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. I got through it without feeling like it was a chore, but I reached the end of it and just thought I didn't like any of that. Interestingly, it was only when I got to the end of the episode that I realised The Simpsons had barely been in it. Now, I'm very much of the mind that other characters in Springfield can carry an episode. We don't need the Simpsons family to be at the forefront of every episode for every episode to work. And I'm also not necessarily saying that this was boring because the Simpsons characters didn't really feature in it. But it is just something that struck me as peculiar that we have a rare episode where the Simpsons family basically didn't even need to be in it at all. And it didn't manage to hold itself throughout. I just didn't think the narrative had enough substance. And as I said, they tried. They definitely tried to make it dramatic and action-packed. But I just didn't take to any of it. So unfortunately, this could have been a really good episode, but for me, The Road to Cincinnati just wasn't. If somebody likes it, I can maybe understand that, but I wouldn't understand if somebody loved it, if it was their favourite episode, because I just think it's lacking in pretty much everything. There are a few tiny moments, a few small things here and there, such as the judge character. I won't say what her involvement was, but I liked what they did with that. So there were a few things, very few things. But ultimately, I just don't like it. Definitely not a favourite episode at all.